People are predictable when they want something.
Hey, friends, welcome back to another interesting recap. Today's story is about a middle-aged hydroponics teacher who started an affair with one of her students and was later snatched by a girl, so she vowed revenge. Please give this video a like as it helps the channel and consider subscribing for more relationships. Movie story recaps. Kath was a middle-aged woman about to clock 50 with her young boyfriend called Max. But like most old women, with young guys, they tend to show that superiority, not minding who is around. And this was what happened to Max one day as Kath was chilling with her. The statement she made about him regarding the shirt that he had ordered from Japan made him feel small when she made it sound like he was extravagant and reckless, so he came up with an excuse to go buy wine from a supermarket so as to get fresh air, where he bumped into Al and Greta. After tapping into their conversation, he thought they were shopping for some kind of cult. Since he was a guy who loved happening and exploring things a lot, they somehow bonded. And when Greta asked him to join them at the bar across the street, he said yes, since he wanted some time away from his old girlfriend. When Greta and Al realized that Max was a fanatic for cults and ritual things, since he was the kind that didn't want to miss out on life, they lied to him that there was one they were going to attend to. They gave him an invitation and directions, and as he was sort of trying to celebrate about it, a piece of glass cut him. Greta gave him the first aid he needed, but the fishy part was that whatever she used that had Max's blood sample on it, she kept it to herself for reasons unknown. When he got back to his middle-aged girlfriend, because things were not going on well between them of late, he suggested a getaway the following day, and she also thought it was a great idea. But on their way there, when Kath asked how he got to know about the wood cabin that they were going to, he didn't tell her the truth. He was just like, he heard people talk about it. Given it was a long-distance drive, they got there in the middle of the night, only for Kath to get shocked that the cabin they were going to was already occupied. Though this was no surprise to Max because he knew about it, but just didn't tell her about it before they even got to the cabin. Al was worried, thinking Max might not show up. And when he did, he was shocked that he had come with someone else and told Greta that it was not part of the plan, so he was going to cancel it. Whatever their plan was, just keep watching. So when he asked Max why he had come with another person, he was like, she was his girlfriend, and he asked Al to play along with the statements he was going to make so that Kath does not get to know that he knew about it. They all fooled Kath and made it seem like it was a coincidence. So because it was very late in the night, Max asked Al and Greta to share the cabin for the night because there was no motel nearby. But since it was not part of the plan, Al was against them sharing the cabin. But Greta accepted. They after tried to play a love game as a way to catch up with each other. And when they asked Kath how she met Max, she told them the truth, that she was his hydroponics teacher, who along the teaching sessions fell in love with. For Kath being older than all of them, she felt like she didn't fit into the sort of game that they were playing, given the game had its rules. So she left them to go and rest at around 10:30 p.m. But the other thing was, she didn't want how Greta was inappropriately behaving with her boyfriend Max, only to wake up the next morning and find out crying alone in the woods, saying that his girlfriend had left him for Max. This really hit her, so she decided to leave without him because she thought it was true, depending on how they were inappropriately acting the previous night. Just after Kath left, Al, who was pretending in front of her to be hurt by his girlfriend for leaving him, changed modes and went to Greta, who was watching over Max sedated in a tank for reasons not yet known. Kath thought it was time for her to move on alone with her life, but she was challenged by her friend Laurel, who told her that if it was her boyfriend snatched by a young girl, she would use all the means to find out how the other girl is better than her. Kath thought about it when Laurel left, and she started by looking for the number of the owner of the wood cabin, which she got on the web. When she got the number of the wood cabin owner, called Barlow, she came up with an excuse on the phone to get Greta's number, that she had a book of hers that she wanted to give back. But Barlow refused to give her the number she wanted, saying that he cannot give out people's numbers for privacy, but he offered to come in town and pick the book from her the following day. When he did, she told him the truth, that she didn't have the book on her and why she lied to him, because she just wanted to know the kind of girl who snatched her boyfriend. Just like that, days later, she again called him, but this time around to apologize for what she had done when she lied to him. But guess what? Just like that, he changed his mind and decided to give her the address she wanted, and on top of it offered to help. And she was surprised by the stockout. He told her that his father died of a disease called synaptic tropism, which caused his entire nervous system to collapse, and it was genetic, meaning he had it too. And he was like, he was working on a solution to cure himself. They then saw Greta move out of room 1477, and they followed her. When she saw Kath, she sort of tried to apologize, snatching her boyfriend, and what broke her was when she saw the wallpaper on her phone with a picture of her and Max, which seemed like they were having fun. So she thought it was true. Max really left him. But in reality, Greta took the picture the day they captured him to show to her so that she stops following him. And the other thing was that this whole meeting thing was a setup because Barlow too was part of it, and they just wanted to make Kath stop following Max. And the reason Barlow went to Kath in the first place, because he wanted to know what she knew because he was part of Max's disappearing. Al and Greta had captured Max as a gift for Barlow as a lab dog for his disease so that Al could catch up with their lost time of father and son, since Al thought that his father was about to die. But what they didn't see coming was Kath crushing on Barlow. Because of this, she drove all the way from town to the wood cabin to see Barlow, and the mistake he did was to leave her alone in the house to go get firewood and to also inform Greta and Al that she still knew nothing about. As Kath was going through the things in the house, she saw a book that had a picture of Barlow and his young son, and the other side had a picture of Barlow, and also right away she knew that something was not right. So she made further investigations only to find that Max was in a container being experimented on as a blood cow because he was compatible with Barlow's. To cut the long story, things got messy in the container when the truth came out that Nicholas Levy Barlow was negative of synthetic hypertrophism, and the reason he was experimenting on Max was that he was looking for a cure to stop him from aging. And even though his son was disappointed for being lied to, that he had this disease, he still had his side. Barlow too had gotten a crush on Kath, so she used it to her advantage to lie to him that she also wanted the treatment to be with him. And on top of it, she will help them cover up with Max's disappearance. She turned Barlow against them, and Barlow too turned Al against Greta, and they sedated her for the experiment for the treatment that would be used on Kath. Amidst the chaos, she tried to save Max's life, but since the experiments would cause illusions, Max pulled out the injection from his neck, which could kill him. And in the process of Barlow trying to save him, Kath defended herself and locked them all in the container. As she was leaving, she thought of taking over Barlow's with cabins since she always wanted one. And this was how the film ended. If you have come this far, please give this video a like and consider subscribing.